Mein Kampf 851. The most striking success of the revolution of a view of life will always be won whenever the new view of life is taught to all people, and if necessary, is forced upon them. Neville Chamberlain gave this man the high ground of Czechoslovakia, thinking that it would satiate his cravings. That proved to be as fatal as George Bush's roadmap to peace, in which he proposed to give the high ground of Israel to the Muslims. One doctrine has, and the other doctrine will, force its view of life on everyone within its reach.
Tabari, give the people the good news of paradise and the way to attain it. Warn them of the hell fire and the way to earn it. Teach them the rites of the Hajj. He orders you to offer prayer at the appropriate times and with the proper bowing and humility. He orders you to give 1/5 of Allah's booty and pay the zakat tax. It is enjoined on the faithful from their land and property. Koran 8, verse 39. Fight them until the only religion is Islam.
When will we learn to read the words on the page? When will we come to understand that tolerating evil leads to disaster? Islam and Nazism are intolerant, dictatorial fighting machines. Mein Kampf 852. The highest task of the organization is to see to it that no kind of internal disagreements among the members of the movement weaken the work of the movement. The spirit of determined aggression must not die out. It must be constantly renewed and fortified. It must never lose its fighting force, and must propagate the idea with determination and with attack. The more radical and inciting my propaganda was, the more it frightened off the weaklings, read hypocrites, and prevented them from pushing into the nucleus of our organization. Hitler would have loved this poem.
Ishak. Muhammad is the man, an apostle of my Lord who errs not. Any who would rival him must fail. Evil was the state of our enemy, so they lost the day. We came upon them like lions from the thickets. The armies of Allah came openly, flying at them in rage, so they could not get away. We destroyed them and forced them to surrender. In the former days there were no battles like this. Their blood flowed freely. We slew them and left them in the dust. Those who escaped were choked with terror. A multitude of them were slain. This is Allah's war, in which those who do not accept Islam will have no chance.
Mein Kampf 856. Folkish religious visionaries procure leadership for themselves, and they collapse the plots that swirl around them. I was unanimously given the entire leadership of the movement. New articles were accepted which entrusted me with full responsibility, and this proved its value in the most blissful manner. Mein Kampf 858. All collaborators were made subordinate to me.
Muslim. We used to take oaths to the Messenger of Allah that we would listen to and obey his orders. He would tell us to say in the oath, as far as it lies in my power. Quran 48:10. Verily, those who swear allegiance to you, Muhammad, indeed swear their allegiance to Allah.
Nazism was as peaceful as Islam. Mein Kampf 891. To forge the sword is the task of leadership. The mission is to seek comrades in arms. 892. The correct road is to strengthen our power by winning new soil and new territory. Mein Kampf 950. We Nazis say, the right to soil and territory is a duty for a great nation which must extend its boundaries. The clues in Mein Kampf that the Nazis were intent on world conquest were no less vague than those found in the Koran. Mein Kampf 953. The German needs only to be given land by the sword.
Bukhari. Expel disbelievers from the Arabian Peninsula. Koran 2:191. Slay them wherever you find and catch them, and drive them out from where they have turned you out, for persecution and oppression are worse than slaughter. Koran 33:25. Allah drove the disbelievers back and helped the believers in battle. He terrorized the people of the book so that you killed some and made some captives. He made you inherit their lands, their homes, and their wealth. He gave you a country you had not traversed before.
Neville Chamberlain wasn't the only fool. Stalin also signed a peace treaty with Hitler years after Mein Kampf was written. And yet in Mein Kampf, page 959, we read, "The conclusion of a treaty with Russia embodies the declaration of the next war." The Führer, like the Prophet, enjoyed projecting his faults on his foes. We must never forget that the rulers of present-day Russia are common blood-stained criminals, the scum of humanity. They butchered and rooted out millions of leading intellectuals with savagery. They have imposed the most frightful regime of tyranny of all time. The Marxists and their Jewish comrades combine bestial horror and an inconceivable gift for lying. They intend to impose bloody oppression upon the whole world. One does not conclude a treaty with someone whose sole interest is destruction. The only difference between Hitler and Mohammed in the application of this stratagem was, Hitler was right. The Führer went on to share, "The struggle of the Jewish Marxist conquest of the world requires a clear attitude towards Soviet Russia. You cannot drive out the devil with Beelzebub," which is another name for Satan. This is similar to Satan's impersonating Gabriel while speaking for Allah and then condemning Satan. Mein Kampf 9:20. Peace treaties, whose demands are a scourge to a people, frequently beat the first drum roll of a coming rebellion. The boundless extortion and shameful abasement are the means of whipping up national passions to the boiling point. The propagandist utilization of these sadistic atrocities can remove indifference and raise indignation to the most blazing anger. Every point should be burned into the brain and into the heart of men until 60 million share the same hate, causing a sea of flames out of whose glow a steely will arises, and the cry, "We want more arms!" Yes, a peace treaty can do all of that. It becomes the greatest propaganda weapon for re-arousing the dormant spirits of a cause. Mein Kampf 9:20. We must reimplant in the people the spirit of proud self-respect, manly defiance, and wrathful hate. The first Muslims didn't take kindly to peace treaties either.
Tabari and Ishaq. The companions of the Prophet had set out not doubting that they would conquer because of a vision Muhammad had seen. Therefore, when they saw the negotiations for peace, the retreat, and the obligations the messenger agreed to, the Muslims felt so grieved about it that they were close to despair. Some were depressed to the point of death.
So,
in Koran 9, verse 3, an announcement from Allah and His Messenger to the people assembled on the day of the great pilgrimage that Allah and His Messenger dissolve treaty obligations with the pagans.
And then,
Koran 9, verse 5, fight and kill the disbelievers wherever you find them. Take them captive, torture them, lie in wait and ambush them, using every stratagem of war.